Have you ever felt a pang in your chest? A quiet ache that whispers, "Am I truly seen? Am I truly connected even when you're surrounded by family, or friends, or in a bustling room?" Has that feeling of being utterly alone ever settled upon you? It's a painful reality that many of us, especially as we get older, face in silence. We often think loneliness means being by yourself, sitting in an empty house. But that's not always the full story. In fact, what if I told you there are hidden truths about loneliness in old age that almost no one talks about, secrets that, once unveiled, can change everything about how you perceive and navigate this challenging emotion? This isn't about blaming anyone or feeling sorry for ourselves. It's about understanding something profound about the human spirit as we age. In this video, we're going to uncover 5 often overlooked truths about loneliness in our later years. We'll explore why it feels the way it does, why it's so hard to talk about, and most importantly, what we can do to gently shift our perspective and find genuine connection again. So many of us carry this burden quietly, but it's time to shed some light on it. Prepare yourself, because what we're about to discuss might just surprise you. And by the end, you'll discover something truly remarkable that can transform your journey. Make sure to watch all the way through for that surprising insight. Let's dive right into the first hidden truth. One that often catches people off guard because it challenges our most basic understanding of what loneliness truly is. You might imagine loneliness as an older person sitting by themselves in an empty room, perhaps staring out a window, with no one around. And yes, physical isolation can certainly contribute to loneliness. But here's the unexpected part: you can be surrounded by people, your family, your children, grandchildren visiting, even in a lively social gathering, and still feel profoundly lonely. This is because loneliness isn't just about the absence of people. It's about the absence of meaningful connection. It's about feeling misunderstood, unseen, unheard, or simply not truly relating to those around you. Think about it. Have you ever been in a crowded room and felt like an outsider looking in? Or had a conversation that felt superficial, leaving you feeling emptier than before? That's the disconnect. It's the feeling that your inner world, your thoughts, your experiences, aren't being shared or acknowledged by others in a way that truly resonates. This kind of loneliness can be particularly painful because it's so hard to explain. How do you tell someone, "I feel lonely," when you just had dinner with your whole family? It doesn't make sense on the surface. And that's why it often goes unspoken. The actionable step here isn't necessarily to seek out more people, but to seek out deeper, more authentic interactions. This might mean having one really meaningful conversation with a trusted friend, rather than 20 casual chats. It could be about sharing a genuine feeling or concern with a loved one, even if it feels a bit vulnerable. It's about quality over quantity. Perhaps you might find yourself in a situation where you realize the interactions you're having aren't nourishing your soul. It's okay to acknowledge that. Sometimes, simply knowing this truth can alleviate some of the self-blame. The feeling that something is wrong with me because you feel lonely despite having people nearby. It's not about you being broken. It's about a natural human need for profound connection that might not always be met in surface-level interactions. We crave to be truly known, not just acknowledged. Now, this second truth is perhaps the most shocking, and it's something our doctors often don't discuss in routine checkups. We tend to think of loneliness as purely an emotional state, a feeling of sadness, isolation, or a yearning for company, and it certainly is all of those things. But mounting research reveals that chronic loneliness can have a profound and detrimental impact on our physical health, almost as if it were a physical illness itself. We're talking about tangible, measurable effects on the body. For instance, studies have shown that prolonged loneliness can weaken your immune system, making you more susceptible to illnesses, from the common cold to more serious infections. It's as if your body, under the stress of social isolation, diverts resources away from its natural defenses. Beyond that, loneliness has been linked to an increased risk of heart disease and stroke. It can elevate stress hormones like cortisol, which, over time, can contribute to inflammation throughout the body, higher blood pressure, and even metabolic changes that affect blood sugar regulation. It's a silent, insidious stressor that wears down your system. What's even more concerning for us as we age is its impact on cognitive function. Chronic loneliness has been associated with a higher risk of cognitive decline and even conditions like dementia. Our brains thrive on stimulation, connection, and purposeful engagement. When that's lacking, or when the stress of loneliness is ever present, our mental sharpness can suffer. The takeaway here is crucial. Acknowledging your feelings of loneliness isn't a sign of weakness. It's an act of self-preservation. Just like watching your diet or getting enough exercise, if you're feeling lonely, it's not just your heart aching. Your body might be sounding an alarm too. This isn't to frighten you, but to empower you with knowledge. Understanding that loneliness has these physical ramifications can provide a powerful incentive to address it. Not just for your emotional well-being, but for your overall health and longevity. It's a call to action from your very own body. Now that we've discussed how loneliness isn't just about being physically alone but feeling disconnected, and how it poses a silent threat to our health, let's move on to the third hidden truth, which delves into why we find it so incredibly difficult to even admit we're feeling this way. Next, we'll dive into a truth that often keeps us trapped in this silent struggle, preventing us from reaching out or even acknowledging our own feelings. Have you ever noticed how, especially as we get older, there's an unspoken pressure to appear strong, independent, and completely fine? We're expected to be the wise elders, the pillars of the family, the ones who have life all figured out. This societal narrative, while well-intentioned in some ways, creates a powerful barrier to admitting something as vulnerable as loneliness. We fear being seen as needy, a burden, or worse, a failure. The idea of pulling yourself up by your bootstraps is deeply ingrained, and for many, admitting loneliness feels like admitting weakness or an inability to cope with life on our own terms. This pressure isn't just external, it becomes internal. We tell ourselves, I should be happy. I have so much to be grateful for. Or other people have it worse. I shouldn't complain. We might even feel a sense of shame about it. This is particularly true in Western cultures where individualism is often highly valued. There's this idea that a truly well-adjusted older person is self-sufficient, busy with hobbies, and surrounded by a robust social circle. If our reality doesn't quite match that picture, we often hide it. We put on a brave face for our children, for our neighbors, even for ourselves. We might fill our days with tasks or distractions, anything to avoid sitting with that quiet ache and admitting its presence. The danger here is that when we don't acknowledge our feelings, we can't address them. We become masters of concealment, inadvertently building walls around ourselves rather than bridges to others. Understanding this truth means recognizing that the shame you might feel isn't unique to you. It's a byproduct of a cultural narrative. It's not your fault for feeling lonely. And it's certainly not a sign of failure. It's a testament to your humanity, a normal response to changes in life. The first step to breaking free from this silent burden is to simply acknowledge it to yourself. Without judgment, just say, yes, I am feeling lonely right now, and give yourself permission to feel it. That simple act of self-compassion can be incredibly liberating. Building on the last point, let's confront another profound truth. Loneliness in old age is very rarely a personal failing. It's not because you're not interesting enough, or outgoing enough, or because you didn't plan your social life perfectly. More often than not, loneliness emerges as a natural, albeit painful, consequence of the significant life transitions that are an inevitable part of aging. Think about it. For many of us, our social circles and daily routines are intricately woven into our careers, retirement, while often eagerly anticipated, can suddenly strip away decades of daily interactions. A built-in community and a sense of purpose tied to work. The water cooler chats, the office camaraderie, the shared challenges, all gone almost overnight. This isn't a failure to adapt. It's a profound shift that requires time and effort to navigate. Then there are the losses. As we age, we often face the heartbreaking reality of losing loved ones, spouses, siblings, lifelong friends. Each loss creates a void that can feel impossible to fill. These aren't just absences. They are a dismantling of decades of shared memories, inside jokes, and unwavering support. Your social fabric, carefully constructed over a lifetime, begins to fray. Children grow up, move away, start their own families, and while their love remains, the frequency and nature of daily interactions naturally change. Grandchildren bring joy, but they have their own busy lives. Even physical changes, like reduced mobility or health challenges, can limit opportunities for getting out and socializing in the ways we once did. These are not personal shortcomings. They are the universal experiences of a life lived. Understanding that your loneliness is often a response to these powerful, unavoidable transitions can remove the heavy burden of self-blame. It helps you see that you're not doing anything wrong. You're simply navigating a new landscape. When you recognize that these shifts are natural, you can approach your feelings with more compassion and begin to think about proactive steps to rebuild your connections in new ways, rather than dwelling on what's been lost. It's about accepting the new reality and then, gently, creatively, finding new paths forward. Now that we've shed light on the societal pressures and natural life transitions that contribute to loneliness, we're ready to explore the fifth and perhaps most empowering truth, which offers a powerful perspective on truly overcoming this feeling. Next, we'll dive into the final truth, one that holds the key to moving forward and finding a profound sense of connection, even when it feels like all hope is lost. This final hidden truth might be the most profound and liberating of all. When we talk about loneliness, the immediate thought often jumps to, I need more friends, or I need to join more clubs. And while these things can certainly help, the deepest, most sustainable antidote to loneliness isn't always about accumulating a large social circle. Sometimes, it's about rediscovering a sense of purpose, engaging with the world in a way that feels meaningful to you, and nurturing the connections you already have, no matter how small, into something deeper. Think about it this way. True connection often comes from shared meaning and genuine interest, not just proximity. If you spend your days feeling aimless or uninspired, even a room full of people might not fill that void. But if you embark on a project that ignites your passion, perhaps learning a new skill like painting or playing an instrument, volunteering for a cause you believe in, or even dedicating time to a long-neglected hobby, you're not only giving yourself a new purpose, but you're also creating organic opportunities for genuine connection. When you're pursuing something you truly care about, you naturally encounter others who share that passion. These are the kinds of connections that feel authentic, because they're built on common ground and shared enthusiasm, not just a desperate need for company. Furthermore, sometimes the solution isn't about finding new people, but about deepening your existing relationships, even if they are few. Perhaps it's reaching out to an old acquaintance for a heartfelt phone call, not just a quick chat. Maybe it's truly listening, with an open heart, to a family member's concerns. It's about savoring the small moments of human interaction, a friendly smile to your postman, a genuine thank you to a shop assistant, a brief, kind word to a neighbor. These small acts of connection, often overlooked, can accumulate and create a tapestry of positive human exchange throughout your day, slowly chipping away at that sense of isolation. The power of this truth lies in its emphasis on internal change and quality of connection. It shifts the focus from passively waiting for someone to connect with you, to actively cultivating purpose and seeking meaningful engagement. It's about nurturing your inner world first, finding what makes your spirit sing, and then letting that energy naturally attract kindred spirits. It's about understanding that connection can be found in a shared moment of silence while watching a sunset with someone, or in the focused intensity of learning something new alongside others, more than in superficial small talk at a large gathering. The surprise here is that often, the most powerful way to combat loneliness starts not with others, but within yourself. By reigniting your passions and finding joy in contributing to the world around you, even in small ways. So, we've journeyed through these 5 hidden truths about loneliness in old age. We started by realizing that loneliness isn't just about being alone. It's a deeper feeling of disconnect, even when surrounded by people. Then, we uncovered the surprising fact that this emotion isn't just in your head. It's a silent health risk that can impact your physical well-being. We then acknowledged the societal pressure that often makes us hide our feelings, making it hard to admit we're struggling. And we discovered that loneliness is rarely a personal failure, but rather a natural response to the big life transitions we all face as we age. Finally, and most importantly, we learned that the deepest antidote isn't always about accumulating more friends, but about finding purpose within yourself and cherishing genuine, meaningful interactions, no matter how small. Remember, understanding these truths isn't about dwelling on the negative. It's about empowerment. It's about giving a name to something many of us feel, validating those feelings, and recognizing that you are not alone in experiencing them. Small shifts in your mindset and gentle steps towards reconnecting with your purpose and with others can make a huge difference in how you feel every single day. This isn't a quick fix, but a journey of self-compassion and intentional living. I truly hope this conversation has offered you some comfort, some understanding, and perhaps even a spark of hope. Your experiences, your feelings, and your wisdom are incredibly valuable. I'd love to hear your thoughts on these hidden truths. Have you experienced any of them? What helps you feel more connected? Please share your experiences and insights in the comments below. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. If this video resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up. That tells me you'd like more content like this. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos designed to help you live your best life at every age. You deserve to feel connected, vibrant, and joyful. Live your best life at every age.